long and skinny. That's a good kayak fish right there, ladies and gentlemen. Good kayak tournament fish. Ain't thick, but he's long. There you go. First one in the morning on the old wacky. Here, buddy. Thanks, man. Well, boys and girls, that didn't work out how I thought it was going to. Normally, I would just fish in the rain, throw on the AFCO rain suit and let her rip, but this is not just rain. This is like sky to ground lightning and thunder and all kinds of stuff. And so I want to chill in the truck for a minute. It's looking like this should pass through here in about 15 minutes. And so once it passes through, we'll get back after it. But yeah, this is like totally like a big just pop-up thunderstorm, totally random. Wasn't even on the radar this morning. Really wasn't even that big a chance of rain. I think it was only like a 20% chance of rain this morning. So I think just the stirring low pressure and humidity here in the East Tennessee Valley must have stirred this one up pretty quick. But I mean, it's already looking like this big thunderhead and this kind of storm front is starting to push through. I believe it's just like an isolated cell, depending on kind of looking at what the radar is. But I like it. Should make the fish eat. Swirling low pressure always makes the fish want to eat well, and we've already got one bite this morning. So if we can get through this, I think we can probably go out here and catch some more fish. But we got to get through this first. You know, I'm always fascinated by like areas that I feel like I should get a bite and I don't get a bite, and this is one of those areas. The reason I think I should get a bite is because the river channel just comes in here and kind of swings into this and swings out and makes a point right here, and like it's one of those areas that just looks so good. And I have got bites here before, but they're very random. Like, you know, sometimes you can pull up here and you can get a bite, and other times they're just like not here. But it's just kind of a fascinating thing because there's so much current that pushes in here that you think these fish would just be sitting here waiting for food to come by their face, and they're just like, sometimes is, sometimes not, but a majority of times there isn't, which is just really interesting to me. But yeah, this is I would also think that this rain would get these fish to eating, but I could be wrong about that too. I don't know yet. I am excited though to hopefully maybe get a frog bite, because I've got the new Berkley frogs, and I've caught a couple on them. I tested them last fall, like October, when the grass mats were really good, and I loved them. But I've got this color, this little perch color, and I love that kind of muted chartreuse. I think that kind of stuff does a good job of, especially in a little bit dirtier water, kind of like what I'm dealing with today. I think it does a really good job of getting those fish's attention and mimicking certain types of bluegills and sunfish that maybe like a more green pumpkin base wouldn't. But yeah, we're just gonna keep pounding around on them here. I mean, there we go. Oh really? What was that? I literally watched that bass swim out behind that thing and try to slap it with its tail. What was that? Okay, well, that just happened. Let's see if we can get him to eat the wacky real quick. Thinking, what was that? I got a feeling that I don't know if the radar lied to us either. I'm kind of starting to reconsider coming back out here, but we'll see here in just a minute. That was crazy. I mean, that bass literally just come out. He followed that thing right off the bank and then slapped at it with his tail. Yep. Oh, that was crazy. But yeah, so toss the frog, toss the wacky, toss the jig. I got a 7-inch Nessie with me as well that we're gonna toss around and have some fun. That bridge is about to be my friend here in just a minute. I mean, radar's just like straight wrong right now. I'll be totally honest with you. The weather apps, the weather people, the weather everything is getting this crap wrong. Like, radar said this crap is going to move out and be done by now, and it's not happening. Unadulterated one right there. So here's the deal. I've got an invite to go fish a private pond tomorrow from a buddy of mine. And so we're gonna go put this thing on the trailer and we're going home, and I will see you guys tomorrow at a private pond where we can frog and buzzbait and flip and have a good time. And we're gonna get away from that crap right there. So see you guys tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think it gets any sexier than this right here. I just really don't. It looks so good. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Yep. I've never seen that set of pads out there like that. Yeah, it's interesting, ain't it? I've never seen anything out there. There we go, guys. First one of the morning. Little bitty dude. Thank you, bud. Well, that was fun. Let's do that about 12 more times today. There's a bird out there, you know, go just like that right there. That's a bobwhite quail. Not very many left down where I live. We're about an hour and a half west of the house right here, and there's more up here just because there's more undeveloped farmland and stuff like that where they're not being predated as bad by domestic cats. I mean, like, it's literally like their biggest enemy is a domestic cat, and so it's just cool to hear them. Used to be able to go outside about anywhere near my house and hear bobwhites, and there used to be bobwhites that lived in a little patch of woods across from Mom and Dad's house, and they're just not there now because of domestic cats. And but man, that's cool to hear. Beautiful morning here, fellas. Beautiful morning. I mean, yesterday was great though too. I mean, we got stormed off the lake, but just got to get out there and enjoy a couple hours of fishing before the sky fell out on us. But just, it's awesome to be out here. It's absolutely beautiful. Already caught a fish on a frog. I mean, put a fork in me, I'm done. It doesn't take much to make me happy. I mean, I'd like to catch about 15 more on a frog, but you get what I'm saying. So, great day to be alive, fellas. It was a great day to be alive. That was a fish right there. There, bud. Heck yeah. Look at that, guys. That's fun right there. Freaking guys, look at that. There's that hook. You can see that hook's coming out, man. That hook gets them good. This frog is super soft. I mean, when it sticks them, man, it sticks them. They eat it. So good. I'm really, really impressed with this frog. Little one, but it's a fun one nonetheless. Thank you, buddy. Oh, come on, Alex. Dude, I've missed like 5 over here. There we go. I mean, laid the wood to him. Look at that, guys. You know, buddy, I bet you anything these fish are fry guarding because they're so shallow.
Yeah, I just had one kill the frog. Well, I've had 2 good spots right here.
I abducted that little fish. That little fish went from, hey, I'm gonna eat this little frog, to, oh my God, I'm flying through the air. I swear to God, Jim, he had a beard. Huh. There's another one. Oh, that's funny. No, I don't even want it to blow up on it hard. I just want it to be one of them where it goes loop and it's got it. Because when it does that, yeah, I was gonna say, because when it does that, it's a freaking big one. Yeah. Yep. That one got it. Heck yeah. There we go. That's the kind of bite I need right there. None of that jacking around with it. I want them to eat it. That's fun, man. I don't care how big they are. That's freaking, a frog bite is a frog bite to me. what's his name's frog? Oh, eat it if you're gonna eat it.
I heard that.
Got that one. Oh, that's funny, man. There you go, guys. That's what's been blowing up on the frog. That's why we can't get them hooked. I mean, obviously, we got that one hooked, but we just ain't getting them hooked because they just ain't that big. But it's fun. A lot of healthy fish in here, though. Get out here, bud. That's fun. That's a good time right there. What's up, cows? I mean, look at this. Look at this. Well, hello then. What do y'all think? Here, you want a frog? Here. They're like, look at it. They're like, huh, what is that? Uh-huh. What'd y'all run down here with such conviction for? Do you think we have food? We don't. Got him to do it. Heck yeah. Not a little one, but that's fun. That's so funny, man. It's good times right there, fellas. Good times. Breaking in a frog, even though none of them's big, we're breaking it in. That's funny. Well, guys, I figured out what some of these blow-ups might be, and it's bluegills. There are bluegills on beds in this lake, and my God, the amount of bluegills on beds. Let me see if I can hopefully get it on the GoPro for you guys. All those little divots in the bottom, like that one, all those little divots, those are all bluegill beds, and those bluegill beds will attract the bass, and I'm really surprised that there aren't more bass up here hanging out trying to eat these bluegills, and that's probably why they're eating this frog, is because they think it's an injured bluegill. I mean, golly, you can see here, I mean, just bluegill beds on bluegill beds on bluegill beds everywhere down through here. And so, yeah, there's a bluegill spawn going on. That's a bass attractor as well. If you see that going on in your lake, start throwing a frog, start throwing a creature bait, start throwing a gilly, something that looks like a bluegill, you'll probably get your arm broke, because those bass take advantage of the fact that those bluegill are up here and in a vulnerable position, and I mean, they'll just swim up into like a mess of the beds like we see here, and I mean, they'll just start eating them. Like, it's pretty crazy to see. But yeah, that's probably another reason why this pond may be fishing a little hard, is just because the amount of bluegill in here. These are really, really big bluegill. I mean, most of these bluegill on average are about the size of some of the bass that I'm catching, and so there's definitely some competition there as far as competition for food and, you know, what these bass can eat. And so I'm sure these bluegill compete with them very hard, especially due to the fact that there's that many bluegill in this pond. I mean, it's kind of insane how many that are actually in here. But yeah, that's another thing this frog does a good job of mimicking. These bass are probably sitting up here and they see this frog come over their head and they think, oh look, it's a bluegill that another bass is screwed up and it's injured and it's dying on the surface. I'm going to take advantage of it, and that's probably why they're eating this thing. Now, if we could just find a big one to eat, that would be fun. I did have one pretty good blow up back in the other end of the pond, but he got me in some reeds and got off. But God, the amount of bluegill beds in here is just insane.
So we know that standardized test scores were introduced decades ago.
There he goes.
With the idea that they would help achieve a quality opportunity for us to.
There he is. That's the one we're looking for right there. Whew. I didn't mean to cuss like that. I'm sorry, guys. Yep. Yep, that's the one we're looking for right there. Hell yeah. That's freaking awesome, man. Whew. All right, guys, let's get this one unhooked. Barely had her hooked too. Good fish, good fish. That's awesome. Let's get her some water. I'm gonna take a picture of that one. All right, guys, man, that is just freaking stupid amounts of fun right there. All right, sweetie, you ready? Let's get you out of here. You spent a lot of energy to eat that, didn't you? Look, here she goes. Heck yeah. Well, guys, and there you go. Just like I was talking about earlier, you can find one with a big enough mouth, you're gonna get it, and that one got it. That's also why I love open water frog fishing as well, because that open water like that allows them to get it. And I think exactly what I just saw right there and exactly what just happened was big bass using these pads as an ambush point. Bunch of bluegill beds up on this point, because I actually already fished this point once this morning. And so that big bass is just sitting there on the edge of these pads. So you guys can see here, there's like a bend right here in the pads. So that fish is sitting in these pads, and I watched him come out of those pads and eat that thing. And so he's sitting there with those bluegill beds there, and anytime it gets an opportunity where it thinks he can eat one or something like that, rushes out, grabs it, and rushes back in. And that's exactly what that fish did. Rushed out and ate that frog because it saw that it was a dying bluegill on top, and then immediately went back into the pads. And I mean, that is classic bluegill spawn bass fishing right there. Awesome, awesome. Just, I mean, that's as textbook as it gets, guys. That's like something you'd see in a magazine. That was just such an awesome bite, awesome fight. That was good stuff. Dude, them bluegill, focus on them bluegill beds, man. They're on them bluegill beds.
Bigger.
Well, hey, thank you, buddy. It's good to see you, bro.
I don't care about them people.
That's it, man. Hey, appreciate you, buddy. No problem. Holler at me. We'll go fishing some more.